Welcome to the 2022 USA Lacrosse Boys High School Lacrosse Rules and Officiating video. This video was created to prepare and educate the USA Lacrosse community for the upcoming lacrosse season and is for educational purposes. To set the agenda for this presentation, we will cover several important aspects of the game. We will also discuss the committee's points of emphasis. Points of emphasis. The committee has addressed the following items as the points of emphasis for the 2022 season. The NFHS Boys Lacrosse Rule Committee advocates for continued commitment by fans and spectators to respect the game and each other, on and off the field. Fans and spectators are asked to monitor and maintain sportsmanship while encouraging both teams involved in the contest. Fans and spectators are reminded that comments directed toward coaches, players, and officials are expected to be positive in nature. The committee expects all participants to continue to work together to exhibit good sportsmanship from pre-game through post-game. Effective January 1st, 2022, all field players shall wear shoulder pads designed for lacrosse that meet the NOCSE ND 200 standard at the time of manufacture. Effective January 1st, 2022, the home team will be required to wear white jerseys, and the away team will be required to wear a non-white jersey. Effective January 1st, 2022, a protective cup or pelvic protector is required for all players. Each player is personally responsible for wearing this protective equipment. Continued emphasis is needed regarding player safety rules, particularly contact to the head, neck, as well as contact against defenseless or unsuspecting players. A. Contact to head, neck shall result in a 2 to 3 minute non-releasable penalty. Excessive violence may result in ejection. B. Defenseless player. Player shall not body check a player in a defenseless position. Hitting a defenseless player will result in a 2 to 3 minute non-releasable penalty or ejection. C. Targeting. When a player intentionally takes aim at an opponent's head, neck, targeting shall result in a 3 minute non-releasable penalty or ejection. The NFHS Boys Lacrosse Rules Committee is partnered with USA Lacrosse to provide the most up-to-date mechanics for officials. In order to accomplish this, the NFHS Boys Lacrosse Committee has adopted the USA Lacrosse 2-man and 3-man mechanics manuals. These manuals are a way for officials, coaches, players, and spectators to see consistency in high school officiating across the country. Each year, USA Lacrosse publishes these resources online and at no cost for officials. To access these resources, visit www.usalacrosse.com/officials. Major rule changes for 2022. The following section discusses the major rule changes and clarifications for the 2022 season. Rule 191F. Protective cup. A protective cup or pelvic protector is required for all players. Each player is personally responsible for wearing this protective equipment, and the equipment shall not be modified from the manufactured state and shall be worn in the manner the manufacturer intended. Rule 282E. Timekeeper responsibilities. The duties of the timekeeper have been simplified to include only the following duties. Keep an accurate account of the time of each period, penalty time, and to inform the penalized players when the penalty time has expired. Notifying officials when players enter the field of play from the penalty area before their penalty time has expired. Notifying officials when a head coach requests a count of long crosses. Notifying officials when a head coach believes there was a misapplication of a rule. When alleged violations occur, the timer and scorer shall confirm the status of the ball when the alleged violation took place, and timekeeper will sound the horn twice at the next dead ball to notify officials of the potential issue. Rule 3-1-2. Score differential. During the second half, once the goal differential reaches 12 goals or more and starting with the whistle to resume play, the game shall have a running game clock. The clock will remain running until the end of the game even if the goal differential reverts to less than 12 goals. Rule 4-3. Face-offs. USA Lacrosse and the NFHS Boys Lacrosse Rules Committee has aligned with the NCAA face-off rules in using the standing neutral grip. The overriding principle of the changes to the face-off is for players to play the ball. There are several changes for the 2022 season that have been adopted for the rules. Officials shall place the ball down first, so players are aware of the face-off location. Players must stand for the face-off. All fingers of both hands shall be gloved and wrapped around the cross. The crosshead and the gloved hands must be touching the ground. The hand closer to the throat of the head of the cross shall be in palm up position, and the other hand is in a palm down position. This is known as a standing neutral grip. A player with both palms facing the ground is not a legal face grip. This is known as the motorcycle grip. A face-off player's first move must be to play the ball, and they may not immediately body check their opponent. Violations of this rule will result in an immediate turnover or potentially a time-serving personal foul if the contact is violent. USA Lacrosse would like to remind players, coaches, and officials about the following points of emphasis for the face-off. The overriding principle is for both players to play the ball. Clamping is allowed on the initial move only and must be moved, raked, or directed immediately. Immediately is defined as within 1 step. The use of helmet-to-helmet contact during a face-off is a concern. Officials need to determine if any potential violations occur when a player uses helmet-to-helmet contact to gain an advantage or contact their opponent forcefully. Legal stick contact can occur to an opponent's stick or gloved hands wrapped around the cross. Any contact above the cuff of the player's glove should be a technical foul for an illegal hold or a personal foul if the contact is violent. New for the 2022 season, the cross and glove shall rest along the center line. All fingers of both hands shall be gloved and wrapped around the cross. The cross head and the gloved hands shall be touching the ground. The hand closer to the throat of the cross shall be in a palm up position. The officials will place the ball on the ground, indicating the face-off location, and instruct the players to prepare the face-off by saying down. Players shall get into the face-off position as quickly as possible and be standing as they get into position for the face-off. The crosses and the gloves shall rest on the ground parallel to each other and be up to but not touching the center line. All fingers of both hands shall be wrapped around the cross. The crosshead and gloved hands shall be in contact with the ground. The hand closer to the crosshead must be in a palm-up position and may not touch any part of the crosshead. Both the hands and the feet of each player shall be to the left of the throat of the cross, and each player shall be positioned so their entire body is left of the throat of their cross. If the players are not positioned properly, The officials may adjust the player's positioning, including the cross, to ensure the face-off will be conducted fairly. Once the official is satisfied with the positioning of the players and their crosses, he shall instruct the players to remain motionless by saying, "Set." Officials may have one hand on the crosses when the set command is given. After the set command, the official shall back out and blow the whistle to start play. The whistle cadence will vary for every face-off. The following clips are examples of common pre-whistle face-off violations. In these clips, pay attention to each player's movements after the official has placed their hand on the cross and given this set command. These following clips are examples of common post-whistle face-off violations, which will include pinning the cross down, withholding the ball from play, common holding penalties, illegal use of helmet, and violations for players that do not attempt to play the ball before body checking an opponent. Finally, here are some examples of legal plays or counters after a face-off player has lost the clamp. Rule 4.4. Contact to face-off players. The committee felt that clarification needed to be made on how wing players can legally contact face-off players that are down battling for the ball during a face-off. Language has been added to the rules that state, when the whistle sounds to start play, the players in the wing areas are released but must avoid body checking the face-off players battling while down in a defenseless position for control of the ball in the initial face-off spot. This clarification avoids body checks to face-off players that can be in a vulnerable position. Should an illegal body check occur to a player in a vulnerable position, it must be penalized as a minimum of 2 minutes non-releasable. Rule 4.24. Officials' timeouts because of lost equipment. Another situation has been clarified so officials are aware of when to suspend play because of lost equipment. If a player loses any mandatory personal equipment when in a scrimmage area, while they have possession of the ball, or a player is apparently injured, play shall be suspended immediately. If a player not in possession of the ball legally loses mandatory equipment and no other players are in an immediate vicinity, then the play may continue. Finally, play will also immediately be suspended if the goalkeeper's cross or any other mandatory equipment becomes broken or malfunctions. If a stoppage occurs due to lost equipment, the team with possession or entitled to possession at the time of the whistle shall retain possession. If neither team has possession at the time of the whistle, the ball shall be awarded according to the alternate possession rule. Rule 7.8. Scoring plays in progress during slow whistle situations. The committee has removed the term imminent and replaced it with a scoring play in progress as it relates to slow whistle situations. In most cases, a second defensive foul will stop a play immediately, but officials can extend a play if a scoring play is in progress. The following criteria has been added to the rule so officials can determine if a scoring play is in progress. The ball is in the attacking team's offensive half of the field. The ball is continuously advanced toward the goal. When a team advancing toward the goal that takes the ball behind goal line extended is no longer advancing toward the goal. An in-progress scoring play can start from behind goal line extended, but once the ball is brought above goal line extended, it may not go back. A team is only allowed one shot attempt on goal, or any other reason that normally stops a slow whistle situation. USA Lacrosse and the NFHS would like to thank you for watching the 2022 Boys High School Rules Interpretation. For more information about the rules, interpretations, memos, or more resources, visit the USA Lacrosse and NFHS websites.